Hi, everyone. Thank you for taking time out of your day to join today's webinar, Read Live Setup. Read Live contains 4 powerful applications in one easy-to-use platform. Read Naturally Live, Word Warm-Ups Live, 1-Minute Reader Live, and Read Naturally Live Espanol. Any or all of these applications can be assigned to a student with a Read Live license. Read Naturally Live is our flagship program. The primary focus is fluency and phonics with additional support for vocabulary and comprehension. Word Warm-Ups Live focuses on phonics with support for fluency, spelling, and phonemic awareness. Read Naturally Live Espanol is a Spanish language version of Read Naturally Live and is designed to help multilingual readers develop Spanish literacy skills. 1-Minute Reader Live's primary focus is fluency with support for vocabulary and comprehension. 1-Minute Reader Live doesn't require teacher involvement. It's a structured, independent reading practice for developing readers of all ages. Today, I'm going to show you how to log into Read Live for the first time, navigation in Read Live, how to add or update your school, how to add staff and students, assigning students a Read Live license, a lead teacher, and access to any of the 4 applications based on the student's need, and how to create a student password report. So let's get started. Anyone that is going to be using Read Live will go to anyone at your school or district that's going to be using the account will go to the same login, readlive.readnaturally.com, and then your 8-digit account number. Staff members will click on staff member to log in, and they'll enter their user ID and password. And right now, account administrators and school coordinators will be asked to enter a multi-factor authentication code, and that will come from the email. It will go to the email that was entered in Read Live. So you'll just enter that and it will open Read Live and take you to the welcome page. So here you'll see the orientation and resources page you can click on. If you click on that, it will give you information about your role in Read Live. And I should back up a little bit. The first time you log in, you'll be asked to change your password and set a security question. And then once you have done that, you can go to this orientation and resources guide that gives you your role in Read Live and what your permissions are. And if you want to learn more about that, you'll just click on this blue more about roles. And then it will give you information about getting started, adding schools and staff members and adding students. And that's all based on your role. So I'm going to click on this home icon, and that is gives you all of the different places based on your role that you can go to and Read Live. I'm an account administrator, so I have global access to the account. When you get started setting up your account, you're going to go from left to right, account and school administration, where you can add and edit schools and adjust school licensing and update contact information. This main navigation menu, the 3 horizontal lines, if you click on that, you'll notice that it's just a drop-down format of where you can, the tiles. So it's the same thing. So I'm going to go to account and school administration. And this gives me details for my account. So my account number is up here in the upper left corner. It gives me my account license summary. I have 30 licenses. I've already assigned 20 licenses to students, so I have 10 available, and it tells me when my Read Live subscription expires. Also gives me the name of my account, tells me who the main account contact is, and then I can enable the recording features, or if I wanted to require that multi-factor authentication code for teachers and Read Live assistants, I could check that box. Over here is my schools and licensing section. So when you first log in, your school would be listed as my school. So if you want to change that, you can just click on that in the blue and then just enter what you want the name of your school to be. You can also reserve licenses for your school, or because my account is for just one school, I'm going to leave it as school can use any available licenses within the account. But if you have multiple schools, if it's a district account, you have multiple schools, you can change this and reserve however many licenses you want a particular school to have. And then just save and close. And then once you're done with adding or updating your schools, I'm going to go to the main navigation menu. I'm going to go to staff member administration. And here's where I can add staff. So up here in the upper left corner are the buttons that I can, with the different tasks that I can do on this page. I'm going to click add staff member. Here's where I can add my staff. And here's where I can choose what role I want that staff member to have. So across the page, the X's across the page give you basic information about what that role can do. If you want to have more detailed information, you'll just click on learn more about roles, and down the page it gives a very detailed description of the different tasks that that staff member can do. So I'm going to add Michelle as a teacher. And then it fills in the school. If I had multiple schools and Michelle was going to be working with students at multiple schools, I could choose all schools. Then I would enter her email address and verify the email. And the user ID defaults to first initial and last name. And then I can save and add another staff member, or just save and close. So once my staff members are added, I'm going to go back to the home icon and I'm going to click on student administration. And here is where I can add and delete my students. So from there, sorry, I went a little fast. So I'm going to student setup. And again, at the top of the page are tiles that you can click on based on what task you want to do. So I'm going to add a student. And so I'm going to enter the student's first name and the last name. Any field that has an asterisk will need to be filled in. The status is automatically active. I'm going to select the grade. I'm going to select third grade. Because I just have the one school, he's set up at the Read Naturally school. I'm going to add a student user ID. A user ID needs to be unique. It needs to be something that's easy for the student to remember. So you'll just enter that, and then you'll enter a password. A password does not need to be unique. It just needs to be at least 3 characters. Then you'll verify the password, and then you can license your student. So I'm going to click on this box and click yes. It automatically defaults for you to choose a lead teacher. However, at the beginning of the school year, sometimes you don't know what lead teacher the student will have, so you can uncheck that if you want. And then your teachers can pick up the students that they want to have. But this way, they can get started using 1 Minute Reader Live or do independent placement and Read Naturally Live to get started reading right away. I'm going to check lead teacher. I'm going to select myself as the lead teacher. In here, they automatically have access to Read Naturally Live and 1 Minute Reader Live. If I wanted the student to use Word Warm-Ups Live, our phonics intervention, I could check that. If I wanted to have them use Read Naturally Live Espanol, I could check that box, or I could just uncheck all but Word Warm-Ups Live. I can choose whatever I want the student to have. The contact information, if you want to be able to email a parent or guardian, you can put that information in here, and then you can email them from Read Naturally Live. So once you're done adding your student, you can save and close. From there, I'm going to show you reports that so you can run a password report. Once your students are in, say you have a substitute that you want them to be able to make sure the students can log in. From the navigation menu, I went to the bottom of the drop down, or the bottom from the tiles page, clicked on reports. There's a student roster, student passwords. I'm going to click on student passwords. I can find my student that I just entered and select that box and generate report for selected, and it brings up that information. If you wanted to select multiple students, you could click the first box, scroll down to the bottom, hold the shift key, click the last box, generate report for selected, and it would list all of your students. So now I'm going to go back to the home page.
Christy,
Yeah,
Christy, I got a question. Someone asked, if I have students maybe from last year and they're showing, how can I release that license for that student so I can give it to someone else?
sure. So from the student administration page and student setup, I can click on the student's last name and say under the license section, click no. I can also go to the student activity page, and this is new for some of you that may have used Read Live last year. This student activity page contains, it has all of the applications in Read Live listed here. So, and I'm still getting used to it. So I'm going to go to applications. Is this where I can do this, Michelle? I can click on the student's
This,
last name from here too, and
yeah,
uncheck the lead teacher.
yeah, to uncheck the lead teacher, but where you were at under the application specific actions, this is where you can add applications in bulk. So you could select multiple students here at a time. The shift, click, and application for selected under Read Naturally Live would give everyone you selected that application. You can do that for Word Warm-Ups Live and as well for 1 Minute Reader Live.
Great, thanks. One other thing, I want to go back to the staff member administration. I wanted to show a couple of things here. Sometimes students may try to enter their teacher's password and the teacher will get locked out. And if that's the case, this unlock button here will be highlighted. If you just click on that, it will unlock the teacher. And if they need their password reset, you can click this reset password button. The email will be valid for 8 hours, so they will need to log in within that 8 hours. Are there any other questions, Michelle?
No, I don't have, no one else has, but can we go back to just the student activity page, the
Sure.
new? One of the things that I have found, and for everyone out there, I take a lot of your calls that come into our support line, noting the caret or the arrows that are pointing towards the students' names. That's an expand and collapse. So when you expand a student's name, you're given all the applications that they have access to and all the things that you can do for that application. So the first icon is the gear. That's your change story options. Then you're getting the next steps are where the student is currently at, how to reset stories, that icon with the half circle with the arrow. Further to the right, the box with the pencil is a change or edit assignment. I want to note for everybody out there that's wondering where they can reassess or replace a student. It's at this screen right here. If you look at the text at the top, Christy, there's a link that says use the built-in placement test to determine an appropriate initial level. So if you clicked on those words, built-in placement, it's going to take you to placement for that student. I'll just note our teachers don't recommend that you replace students. Data Mentor is going to help you with that once your students begin working. If you have more questions about those things, you can certainly give us a call and we can get into more detail about those.
Thanks, Michelle. I just want to show one more thing before we finish. When you're logged into Read Live, at the bottom of the page, you'll see Help. And if you click on that, it will open a new browser tab that goes to our Read Live Help page. The Read Live Help page has many valuable resources, several short videos to walk you through setting up and using Read Live on the left side of the page. And then there's valuable links to student and teacher training, resources, job aids on the right side of the page. At the top of the page, you'll see our training tab, and this is where you would have gone to sign up for webinars. So if you just click on that, it will go to additional webinars. I think one of the questions that somebody had when they registered, if there were free training for Read Live, and we have these Read Live online courses that teachers can sign up for. We also have student training videos. These are great videos that teach students what they'll do when they're using the different programs in Read Live and doing independent placement. These are also a great refresher for teachers that are returning, it walks through the steps of the different programs. And the longest videos for, say, Read Naturally Live is only 7.5 minutes. So these are just great for staff and students. Any
Christy,
other questions?
yeah, we do have a couple of questions. From Loretto, she asks, should I move a student up a level when the prompt recommends after reading the passage, or wait until the student completes all of the stories? I can take it if you'd like, Christy, or if you've got a response, go ahead.
Well, I mean, typically my response to that, and I'm assuming that's from a data mentor suggestion that's given. And I would say usually, you know the student better than the computer does. So if you think maybe it was just a story, the subject the student wasn't really familiar with, and you want to give them another chance, you can have them go to the next story in Read Naturally Live and see how they do, because Data Mentor is going to do an average of those stories if you don't accept. Would you add anything to that, Michelle?
No, I think that does it. I think yeah, Data Mentor is a very reliable component that we've just recently added. And just note that you'll see that on the pass review step when you are working with a student in their pass step.
Right. Okay. Any other questions?
I don't know. Erin, if you could, Erin, if you could just add, you just noted, how did she get there? Could you add to that? Oh, I got it, she said. Okay, nope, everything is answered, Christy. Thank you.
Perfect. Perfect. Thank you, everybody, for joining us today. You'll receive a recording of today's webinar along with the handout. And please join us for more webinars. And if you could fill out the survey at the before you log off, that would be great. That will help us improve our webinars. Thanks so much.